Hello and welcome back to Personal Space. It's been a while since I recorded the podcast, فأحس I'm gonna be extra awkward today. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, on a serious note, I think it's been 3 weeks since I recorded the podcast, and it's because I've been grieving. ما أعرف شلون أقول ما أعرف شلون I get to the point, but I've been grieving. يدتي توفت I think 2 weeks ago now, I think. And it's been very, 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 very hard. Grief is such a strange thing. And I wish I can give advice on grieving or just going through it, but honestly there's literally nothing that I can say that can tell you about grief, to be honest. It's such a weird thing. It comes and goes, and sometimes you're in a flight going back to Dubai and you're weeping. So it's a strange thing. But yeah, that's what's been happening the past 2 weeks, and I'm sorry I didn't upload anything, but I hope you guys can understand. Like, let's relax, okay? So the last podcast was going to be filmed in Italy, but it couldn't, because the amount of time that I had in Italy versus the amount of time to get to the hotel is insane. And this is one of the craziest travel stories you'll ever hear, to the point that I haven't even edited the TikTok because it's so long and so exhausting to edit. Yes, I edit everything, guys. Last thing that you know, I was in Barcelona, okay? And I need to go to Forte de Marme to a wedding. To get to Forte de Marme, you have to go to another airport in Italy. The closest airports to the area is Florence, which is 3 hours away, or I think Pisa, which is 4 hours away. قررنا نروح Florence, okay? Red flag number one. Before I go to bed, Mommy قالت لي طرشي your ticket. I was like, oh, okay. Instead of booking a ticket for the next day, I booked a ticket for the next month. But I changed the ticket to go tomorrow, okay? Which is خلينا نقول the 12th of September. 12th of September comes, نروح المطار. We're heading to Florence. We're in the queue. يقول لنا نروحوا مكان ثاني. لازم check into that counter, that counter, that counter. آخر counter قالوا لنا, yeah, so there's heavy wind in Florence that you can't get there today. You can come tomorrow. And I was like, no, we're going for a wedding. We have to go. They're like, well, we can take you to Milan and then you can figure it out. And I was like, okay, let's go to Milan. Have I been to Milan before? No. Do I know how to get to Forte de Marme from Milan? La. So what do? I go to Milan. We land in Milan and there's a guy holding up a sign saying bus to Florence for anyone who skipped their flight. فرحنا we had the whole group that was going to Florence to this bus driver, and he's like, well, it's a 4-hour drive to get to Florence in this bus. And we're like, يعني مش نسوي. I was like, خلينا نعطيه فلوس كذي أشوف ده بيودينا Forte. Like Forte is in half of the way. قال لي لا, it's in a highway, there's no way I can drop you off. So I was like, okay, شو أسوي? Like, what do I do in this situation? Should we go to Florence and then from Florence to Hiii? That's 8 hours to do all of that. And already we were on a 2-hour flight. For a 10-hour trip. I was like, no, that's too much. And then I check, a train from Milan to Forte de Marme is 12 hours? So قلنا, what do? We either take an 8-hour bus ride or a 12-hour train ride, which is insane. And then أنا قاعد حطم, obviously, you know my girl Moni. قاعد حطم وياها. I was like, Moni, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Da, 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 da. She was like, why don't you rent a car? How did I not think of that? But I go downstairs. I go to every single car rental company. أقول لهم, please, I need a car for 3 days. All of them are fully booked. All of them are fully booked. I was so confused why all of them were so fully booked. فآخر واحدة رحت لها وقلت لها, why are you guys fully booked? She was like, Babe, it's Milan Fashion Week. Yeah, I did not think anything of this. But I go to the first counter that I went to, okay? Please, if there's anything you can do, please. Like, I don't want to go on a 13-hour train ride. Gali, we have one car. We're just waiting on one person to cancel it. If they cancel it, then we're going to give it to you. But it's a BMW. I hope that's okay. I was like, give me the BMW. We're going right now. Subhanallah, we got the last car in the Milan airport. We get on the car. By this time, صار ليل. And we've never driven anywhere other than Khalij. أول شيء اشتطينا. We were like, hey, we're in a BM. Ooh. And then لاحظنا it's way too dark and it looks like it's about to rain. We were up the mountains, by the way, and we have to go up the mountains to go to the place. And it starts to rain more and more and more. وصار rainstorm. Rainstorm up in the mountains. So what do we do now? سيقنا بطيء. And we escaped the rain cloud. دخلنا into a cloud. I swear to you, it was the foggiest thing ever. ما نقدر نشوف شيء. ما نقدر نشوف السيارة اللي قدامنا. Like, we could easily get in a car crash. I don't know how, but we were so protected إن ما صادنا شيء. أخيراً, we get to the hotel and it's safe and sound. But the next day was the wedding. And then the next day we had to drive back to Milan. So I couldn't film. Best, the whole time I was like, this is a great story to look back on. Like, it felt like I was in a movie. And we were in a good mood the whole time because we just kept laughing. So I feel like that also helped out. So if you're ever going on a road trip, you can't be in a bad mood. And if you're in a bad mood, you're not going to survive. On a side note, Forte de Marme is so beautiful. Like, the sky was so blue. The ocean was so, like, fresh. The sand is so soft. Like, everything about this place is so nice. And the whole time I was there, I was like, I want to take my mom here. And yeah, لأن رجعت دبي, I stayed for like 3 days and then رحت البحرين for my family. And there's something so special to me about Bahrain. Obviously, because I'm Bahraini. I grew up there. Like, my whole life is Bahrain. There's an energy that will always make me feel like I'm getting a hug. I know Dubai now is my new home, but nothing will ever feel like Bahrain to me, ever. Yani my friends in Bahrain, my family in Bahrain, it's just so nice. And the most special thing about my friends in Bahrain, and this is how you know someone's truly your friend, is no matter how long I don't talk to them, our relationship is exactly the same. Like, there's no awkwardness, there's nothing, there's no animosity بيننا. يعني we're all the same people that we saw a year ago. And I love that. It makes me so happy that I have friends that I can go to at any time and our relationship never changes. And if you're watching this, guys, I love you. And I'm not going to get emotional in this podcast because I've been crying all week. And I don't know if I'm the only person that this happens to, but every time I'm on a flight, I sit with my emotions and I just cry. أكثر مرة أصيح is on a flight. أكثر مرة I journal. And I'm always on flights these days, so I'm just crying on flights. Like, I need to stop. When I was on my way from Bahrain to Dubai, I had a weird guy sitting next to me, and he was staring at me the whole time. And مرة واحدة, this tears started coming, and I was like, no, I don't want to be crying in public right now. And I just started crying, and I keep looking at the window. I'm like I'm holding back my tears, and I was weeping. Like, it just kept going. And he was so creepy, and he was trying to get a way to talk to me, and I just like kept on doing this. And then عطاني tissue and I wiped off my tears, and I felt like he wanted to ask me why I'm crying, but I kept on like looking away, and I didn't want to give him eye contact. I don't know, am I the only person that this happens to, that I cry on flights? Please tell me this is normal. Is it the altitude? Like, why am I crying on a flight every single time? Damn. Also, all I've been doing is watching TV shows. Monsters, the Eric and Menendez brothers case. Wow. Filming, wow. And I'm going to say something controversial. I really hate how TikTok comes up with conspiracy theories and then cancel something based on that conspiracy theory that we don't know. Everyone's trying to act like police and a judge and a lawyer when we don't know evidence. Like we have no training to judge something based on the little evidence that they show to the public. Yani, for example, the Menendez brothers case is they killed their parents, but they killed their parents based on self-defense because they were getting mistreated and they were getting sexually assaulted. So they put them in prison for a very long time. Yumkin, I'm butchering the story, but this is what I know. A lot of people believe the Mendez brothers. I too believe them, but there's not enough evidence to the public that shows that they were getting sexually assaulted. Ahin, the show I was watching, which is a really, really good show, really good acting, really good filming, okay, is written by this guy called Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy did a lot of research on the case, okay, but he tried to prove different perspectives of everything that was going on. Yumkin it's not true. I don't know. I'm not one to judge. Because maybe it's not true. But everyone's trying to cancel Ryan Murphy لأنه he didn't show only their side. He tried to show the parent side. That I'm just getting so annoyed in ليش احنا as the public we decide what happens in court. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's professionals. Why do people go to law school and become lawyers and do everything that they have to do if TikTok is going to come and act like they're lawyers? And I feel like this is the same thing that happened to Gypsy Rose. Because one day everyone loves Gypsy Rose, and then the next day they're like, oh my god, she's a criminal. Oh my god, she's this. Oh my god, she's that. Can we stop building conspiracy theories and making that the public opinion that we have to push to people? Like, khalas, please. Anyway, this is a whole thing that's been happening to me. Second thing that I've noticed on TikTok is everyone and their mothers is talking about Love is Blind Habibi. The show hasn't come out yet, but when they were building the show, قبل ما they film it, they were reaching out to a bunch of people. All these people went on TikTok and told their story, okay? I also have a story, but I didn't talk about it on TikTok because I have better stories to tell. No, but I did get reached out by a producer for the show. لرجعت message قالت لي, hi, I'm a big producer for networks like NBC and whatever, and now I'm working with a big streaming platform for a new show where you get to meet the love of your life, whatever. And I was like, this sounds like Love is Blind. Weird. And then we talked to each other. She's like, can you give me your number? I was like, okay. I thought she was gonna WhatsApp me some information. She called and explained the whole thing, that you're going to be behind a wall talking to someone and you're going to see your energy with them, and then afterwards we're going to take you on a holiday and you're going to decide whether you want to marry them at the end of the show. And I was like, oh, so basically Love is Blind. She's like, well, it's something like that. I think they didn't want to say the name of the show back then. So I was like, أول شي حبيبتي, أنا سعودية, I think being on TV and dating someone might rub people out the wrong way. She was like, ليش? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. Like, have you not done research on the culture? And then she was like, yeah, but يعني, I feel like it's fine. And I was like, what if like my family sees this and they're like, why, what's the issue? I'm like, I don't know. Like, you have to think about the traditional aspect of this, of going on public TV and dating someone. And they're like, but you're gonna get married to them in the end. And I'm like, but what if I don't want to get married to them? And they're like, I still don't get what you're saying. So it was so confusing. And شو ما قاعد أفهم شلون the culture doesn't accept dating. Like, she couldn't understand it. And I was like, like, she wasn't understanding in that I don't want to date someone on national TV. And then I was like, oh habibti, I'm sorry, but I'm already dating someone to get married. She was like, متى ملكتك? I was like, بكرة. She was like, no way. I was like, yeah. She was like, no way. I was like, yeah. Imagine. She was like, حلفة. I was like, والله العظيم. Like, what do you mean? Even though she called me last year, and ملكتي بكرة. It's so weird. It's so weird. She closed the phone and she was like, you know what, babe? We're gonna cancel the whole show and we're gonna do a whole show about you and your new husband. And I was like, no, babe, it's fine. You don't have to. She was like, okay, never mind. But yeah, on that note, what is my hyperfixation of the week? It's my husband. Now I don't know how to end the episode other than apologizing for all the men that wanted to marry me. Sorry guys, I'm taken. So I'm really, really sorry, but I am a married woman. Anyway, guys, next episode I will be a married woman. ويمكن أتغير عليكم, you know, like I am a married woman now. So, see you next episode, guys.